sir, we would be now going on to the next session.
Thank you so much, Pooja ji. Thank you so very much. I am Dr. Vivekanand Pandey, Pro Vice Chancellor, MIT University, Patna. And I have respected Vice Chancellor of MIT University, Punjab, Dr. R.K. Kohli Saab. And our esteemed guests are Shri Aditya Agrawal ji, Honorable Chairperson, Imami Group of Companies, Honorable Shri Rakesh Malhotra ji, Chairperson, SAR Group, and Shri Ashwini Lohani ji. We also have with us Mr. Shri U. Ramachandran ji, our Senior Vice President, MIT Education Group. And with your kind permission, sir, shall we start?
Dr. Pandey, may I just come in to just thank?
Many happy returns of the day, Honorable Sir. Happy birthday.
Yes, Dr. Pandey, thank you so much. I just wanted to come in quickly before you start the panel to thank our respected speakers. I mean, what a stellar galaxy of speakers we have in this session, where Dr. Shukla, as the Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, has organized this 2-day conference on how to inculcate or understand the inculcation of belongingness and values within organizations. And I think no better people at such a senior level like our Honorable Agrawal ji. We are extremely grateful to you. Whenever you speak to the Amity fraternity, you bring out such wisdom. Lohani ji is here, Mr. Gupta, Mr. Malhotra. I think all of you, and I can see there are hundreds and hundreds, and across our internet channels, thousands of young Amity students and faculty members who will be listening to you over this session. And for us, under the vision of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, when he established the Amity Foundation, the fundamental philosophy was of how to create this sense of belongingness and how to imbibe the solid foundation of values and sanskars amongst the young Amitians whom we teach. Because we have always told them that however successful you become in life, whatever you do, you will achieve the greatest heights. But always have this respect for other people in society. Always be the ones who support your families. Always create this sense of belongingness. And as I was just telling in the earlier session, we have a strong belief that values, this sense of belongingness, these are all aspects which are very, very difficult to teach. But we have a strong belief that young people imbibe values, they imbibe aspects like belongingness from seeing people around them. And that is why at Amity we are so privileged to have great leaders like Dr. Kohli, who is the Vice Chancellor, the youngest Vice Chancellor of within the Amity family, a great academic leader. Dr. Pandey, who is an absolute dynamo and go-getter, I say. Mr. Ramachandran is here, who has helped us build Amity across the country and across the world. I can see Gaurav, Major Vinod, and of course, Dr. Shukla, our Vice Chancellor, who has been heading this from the front, Dr. Dhaneshwar, our Pro VC, and so many leaders of Amity. We are extremely proud that all of you create this sense of belongingness, this imbibing of values amongst all our students. So I just wanted to come online to thank everyone and our respected speakers today. Our deepest gratitude for sharing your blessings to our young Amitians who are listening online today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
This day is indeed a great day for all of us, because this day gives us opportunity to welcome galaxy of renowned personalities. Today we have with us Shri Aditya Agrawal ji, Chairman, Imami Group of Companies. Aditya sir is the eldest son of the founder of Imami Group, Shri R.S. Agrawal sir. Aditya Agrawal ji is the key member of the group's core advisory committee and he has been an intrinsic part of Imami's growth for its humble beginning to being one of the leading diversified business conglomerate in the country today. May I request you all to please give a huge round of applause and welcome Honorable Shri Aditya Agrawal ji. We also have with us Honorable Shri Rakesh Malhotra ji, founder of SAR Group. Rakesh Malhotra ji is a senior entrepreneur and he is an early stage investor in India, Singapore and US. SAR group of companies are engaged in wide range of industries including power, electronics, energy storage, renewable energy, water, air purification, industrial, IoTs, and many more. Since 1988, Sir has been the founder and co-founder of more than 14 ventures. Once again, I request you all to please welcome Honorable Shri Rakesh Malhotra ji. We also have with us Shri Ashwini Lohani ji, CEO of GMR Group. Sir is presently working as CEO of GMR Group based at New Delhi. He also holds the position of Independent Director of IPRCL and is a member Board of Governors of IIT Roorkee. He also earlier held the positions of Honorary Chairman, Andhra Pradesh Tourism Development Corporation, with the status of a Cabinet Minister of the state and Honorary Advisor Tourism to the CM of Uttarakhand. He retired as the chairman of Railway Board and also served as at various apex positions in Indian Railways. Sir has also worked as chairman and managing director of Air India on 2 occasions. Once again, I request you all to please, with huge round of applause, welcome Sri Lohani sir. We also have with us Sahil Nair ji, Senior Associate Director. Sahil is a certified MBTI and NLP practitioner, a regular columnist and visiting faculty at leading business school across the country. With a certified design thinker, he loves filtering the ideas, he designs prototypes, he redefines human experiences at KPMG in India. Once again, I request all of you to please welcome Sahil Nair ji with huge round of applause. Let me begin with Shri Aditya Agrawal sir. Aditya sir, Honorable Aditya sir, the esteemed organization of yours was founded by two friends, Honorable R.S. Agrawal Saab and Honorable R.S. Goenka Saab in 1974. Can you please share with us about his journey of belongingness of friends for taking care of the society? Honorable Aditya Agrawal sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very happy birthday to Chancellor Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan. It's a matter of great pride for me to be present here amongst all of such teachers, professors who are making the society what it should be. I would like to make a small correction. I'm not the chairman of the Imami Group. I'm a director there. My father and Mr. R.S. Goenka, both of them are the joint chairman. As far as belongingness is concerned, our whole organization has actually been built on relationship, and somehow relationship and belongingness, they are two different words, but I think if we go deeper, it will bring you to the same place. Because in every relationship, it is only because of belongingness towards each other that the relationship prospers. If that belongingness is not there, then we give up and don't take the relationship further. As I heard that skills can be taught. We very strongly believe in our organization that skills can be taught, but values cannot be. And that is the one reason why in our assessment form for any appointment, we give around 70% of weightage to the values, because the skill requirement also changes as the organization changes, as time changes, as industry changes. But the values always remain the same. And values can only change if there is a life-changing experience in your journey of life. Otherwise, values don't change. If only very good happens to you in your life, or if very bad happens to you in your life, then only your values changes. It could change towards better, it could change towards worse, depending upon how you have taken the incidents of the good or the bad, how you have taken the experience, the good experience or the bad experience. Imami, as Dr. Pandey said, it was started by my father and one of his friends who studied together since class 3. And now we, the second generation, and now my kids and Mr. Goenka's grandson, they are also working together. We take a lot of pride in saying that in spite of becoming big in many terms and still to become big in many other terms, we are together as strongly as maybe our founders were. And the biggest thing which we worry about in our organization, and the biggest thing which we want to pass on to the next generation, whether it is next generation of family members or next generation of leaders who are working in the company, is this feeling of togetherness. In fact, when one of our company 2 years back was awarded the Great Places to Work certificate, we were happy to see that out of the 2,100 people they interviewed, we got very high marks, much better than the average on these aspects. People working with us, they felt that there is no politics in our organization. Each department was willing to help each other. So that made us happy that the values which our founders have passed on to us, we are being able to run the company in that way and pass on those values to every person who are joining this organization. For example, say when our first, we have an art center, a space and a center dedicated to art and culture as a CSR activity. So when it was opening in 2019, the first program was Vasudevaya Kutumbakam. The world is your family. And our belief is, like, if you cannot be happy if your family is not happy. Your family cannot be happy if your neighbors are not happy. Your neighbors cannot be happy if the society is not happy. And so on. If the country is not happy, the society cannot be happy. If the world is not happy, the country people cannot be happy. We all are seeing how the war in Russia and Ukraine, which is thousands of kilometers away from us, is affecting our happiness in some way or the other, in short term or in long term. So the daira of our happiness, it is our duty to grow and not to keep it within ourselves. It cannot, if we want to be very selfish and just want ourselves to be happy, we will somehow not be happy even in the mid-term or the long term. So it is very important. Everyone wants to have the feeling of belongingness. being loved, being cared, having the affection of everyone around. But for that, it's important that we give first. We should not see what we have got from the society, from our family members, from our friends. In fact, we should see what we have given. When we give, we without any expectations, we get much more, and belongingness improves. We all in every organization, we tell our people to work like owners. But do we actually give them the environment to work like owners? Do we let them think and work like owners? No. We give them targets. We bound them within boundaries. You do this, you have to do this, and then nowadays we even give them a booklet to how to do that. Whereas the owners, their strength is they can think new, and we don't let our people think new. So if we want to get their belongingness, we'll have to make them happy, and happiness can only come by giving independence of thoughts, independence of expression, independence of action. Like we also are a part of a hospital chain. It's the largest hospital chain in Eastern India. And whenever we get a chance to talk to our people there, we always tell them, just think whoever is coming to you for treatment, think that he or she is your relative. Now, how would you react? Yes, I know it's easier said than done. But if we start thinking like that, it is very easy actually to do it also. We may fail sometime, but if we start doing it, we will definitely achieve it for 90% of time. That 10% will not be important. It can be covered in the longer period, because some external factors are also do also contribute to this, because of which many things cannot be done. But at least 80-90% is in your hand. So we have to start doing it. And once we start doing anything, we'll definitely achieve what we want to. There is nothing which cannot be achieved if we start doing it. But if we think कि पहले सब जमा करो, will let us have the best in our hands first, whether it is people, whether it is machine, whether it is the amount of money, and we don't start till we have everything, then the goalpost will always keep on changing, and we will never start. We have seen people who have failed because they were not starters. They had everything in them, but the last minute they just are too. They just want to be very safe, I would say, to start. Let us not fear from failing actually, and failing fast is the best which you can give to yourself. I hope I am not being very preachy, but the subject is such, and especially with everyone so educated around, you don't even know what to say. You can only share what we have learned from our parents, from the society, and that is only what I can share with you all, because there is no book which here people might not have read, no learnings which you don't impart to your students. So please excuse me if I am going the other way. Like people talk about town halls now after Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, maybe since the last 5 years. But I've seen my father and my uncle in the mid 80s or the early 80s. It was very clear, like Calcutta is understood to be the hub of unionism. But we had never had a red day or a black day in our factory. It was because we felt we made the people feel like a family. It was very clear to the workers. My father used to tell them, I am giving you money. You will not listen to the union leader. Is he paying you? If you have any problem, come to me. If it is not solved, then go wherever you want to go. But you cannot come to me with a gun in your hand and the union leader in front of you to dhamkao me. Then take money from him. So we used to gather, every worker used to gather in an auditorium. 2 days in the year were fixed. The management team was there. All the workers used to come, and it was a whole day program where they could share their feelings, their agony, and most of the time you don't need to solve their problems also. If you just hear it, it is good enough for them. You just have to have the patience. We all have enough patience to listen to our kids. But when it comes to co-workers, when it comes to neighbors, when it comes to countrymen, this patience level goes down like a mobile phone battery in the evening. It's not there at all. So when we practice such things, belongingness with people, it increases. And at the same time, we should take care that we do not get too much of belongingness with things. The feeling of belongingness of things, this thing belongs to me. It is just the opposite. And it gives you opposite result than the sense of belongingness with people. If we want to progress in life, we should decrease our belongingness of things and increase our belongingness with people. Help them, give them first without expectations, and then if something comes, it is a bonus. Like it is said, neki kar darya mein dal. So this is what I had to say. And once again, thank you everyone for hearing me, for being patient and understanding. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you. And our handful respect and regards to the founders, Shri R.S. Goenka Saab and Shri R.S. Agrawal Saab. And sir, we would like to submit one statement, one fact, that at MIT, we work like entrepreneur. Honorable Chancellor Dr. Atul Chauhan, sir, gives us full freedom to think and implement. And he is the man who has been imbibing in us that sense of belongingness. And we call once Emitian is always Emitian. So with your kind permission, now I am going to Honorable Shri Rakesh Malhotra, sir. Honorable Malhotra, sir, your vision of connecting with people and maintaining lifelong friendship both inside and outside of your organization, leading to a sense of belongingness, has led to a mission 555. All of us would like to know more about this very interesting initiative of yours, Mission 555. Honorable Malhotra, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Pandey, and I would like to also wish Dr. Chauhan a very happy birthday. I think, see, for us, we are a first generation enterprise. I started very early at the age of 23 in 1985 with my first venture, and we were just 2 people. And then my father, who was an IAS officer, retired in 1991, and by that time we had grown a little bigger. So we had the good fortune of having him as the chairman of our company after he retired. And belongingness is something that, I'll come to the Mission 555, but belongingness is something which is the theme that you have today. And for us, our journey over the last now about 37 years running through, two different versions of our business. The first company we built was called Luminous Power Technologies, which we exited in 2017. And then now we have the second version of our entrepreneurial journey, which has also grown to be a 5,000 people organization. All through these years, from 2 people to over 5,000 people, we have seen this as a common thread and the foundation for growth, actually. So in reality, this is got embedded into the culture of the organization as some sort of a intrinsic value system of the organization, which has propagated from the nucleus as we built the organization all the way through. Some deliberate, very well thought through initiatives, and some simply walk the talk activities that propagate. In fact, the walk the talk activities are the ones that are the more enduring ways of building the culture than anything that you put on the wall and any kind of statement that you do. I mean, like Aditya was also talking about multiple things that went all the way through from the founders down to the third generation now, and it's very endearing to hear that. I can remember my father, after he joined in as a chairman, after retiring from civil service, we were about 250 people at that time. And he had made a process every day in the morning when he got to work at 9 o'clock. He was the first person in the office. He would sit with a separate person every day in the morning and have a cup of tea with him for 15 minutes. And he ran that process every single day without failure. And he knew literally everyone, what is going on in their lives, what's right, what's not right, and so on and so forth. Of course, as we grew bigger, he couldn't keep up with every day, everybody getting to there, but he was still doing it for most people that were there in, let's say, first 2 or 3 or 4 levels of the organization. Things like that, we have always practiced 3 things in our organization as fundamentally important. One is that people align to a purpose or a vision which is greater than what they can see about their career or their growth or their personal well-being. I mean, that is of course important. But big things are done with when there is some inspiration around the table, where everyone can align to getting to some big goal, some big purpose, clarity of their contribution in creating something worthwhile, and so on. So Mission 555, and before that we have been through a few more such missions, were all a part of rallying everyone towards some sort of a mid-term aspirational goal, which is large enough to and good enough to inspire people to do something more than what they would do in a day's work, right? So, by the way, the Mission 555 has 3 fives. So when we were starting out second time around from scratch with just 3 people in 2013, we said that we'll coin a 10-year goal, and the goal has 3 fives. The first 5 is 5,000 happy people. The second 5 is 5,000 crores of top line, and the third 5 is 500 crores of bottom line. And all these 5s have to be accomplished in the first 10 years of our existence, and we are about a year away from where we set the goal at. I think we're almost there. We're probably going to be a year or 6-8 months here or there. So what it does is it focuses everyone's energy onto a bigger goal and aligns everyone towards something. So that's Mission 555. But coming back to the subject of today, which is your concept of belongingness, for us, I think it's centered on 3 things. One is transparency, second is trust, and third is inspiration. And I think these three things happen out of, the value system being clearly uncompromised at any time. So a lot of things that Aditya was talking about are they resonate completely with me. We are almost similar companies. I mean, we are both very strongly relationship oriented. It's not just inside the company. It extends to all our distributors, dealers, all the way back into suppliers. So we have had people, who have stuck to us all the way through. We have people who have spent now over, from the first set of employees that we had, we still have almost 70-80% of them 25 years later. They're retiring from the organization, and it's a lifelong partnership, and not just at work, but it's beyond work. It then extends to being friends. It then extends to being, pretty much family, right? So we have been very successful at keeping that spirit going by putting people first. So through many turmoils that we have all seen, I mean, from 2008 financial crisis to COVID-1, COVID-2, and many others, one of the first things that we always do is come together as a family and make sure that not a single person in any, you may let somebody go out of his job because of other reasons, could be related to, ethics, values, and this and that, but never for a reason of a crisis on profitability. So profits come as a consequence of having a team that feels a very strong sense of belonging. And I think we have borne serious fruit of that. I mean, all our businesses have thrived and rapidly grown because of this, because of this strong sense of belongingness that we have. I mean, 50-60% of our new hiring happens through existing employees bringing in their friends and their acquaintances into the company by pulling them in. So we don't have to hire a lot of placement consultants for hiring good people. We get a lot of them through our own employees. So those kind of things have always been going on in our system, right? So, at the end of the day, this is second nature for us. It's values first. It's a purpose which is linked to the values, and then we've set these missions like Mission 555, etc. More as a medium-term objective. It is not the longest-term objective, but it is like 5-10 year horizon, so that people can focus and rally around some kind of a goal.
Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so much. I'll again come back to you to understand another great idea of yours, that is act, aim and act. But prior that, taking permission from Shri Ashwini Lohani ji, I would like to again go back to our Aditya Agarwal, sir. Sir, being the eldest son of the founder, Honorable Shri R.S. Agarwal ji, and the torchbearer of the founder's legacy, and also being on the driver's seat in the organization, what is your viewpoint for the idea of belongingness?
See, as I said, there is it is a very important subject to dwell upon, but it has to be understood rightly. As I said, it should not be belongingness or love towards things. It should be love for people, love for values of people, and it has to grow. And somewhere, I think Amity can play a very big role here, because you all are teaching and helping youngsters develop a mindset. Of course, it happens from the school era, school time, and also with the family. But again, I think there cannot be anything more important than the feeling of belongingness towards everyone in this earth, and to help each other grow.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I was talking about the idea of Sri Malhotra ji, aim and act. So, values are an integral part of an improvement in inclusiveness and belongingness through social cohesion of society. In this backdrop, we would like to know more about the concept of aim and act in your organization.
Well, I mean, aim and act is basically an acronym for our values that we have put together as an organization right at the start. And it's an easy way to remember and internalize that for our people. But at the end of the day, your question was around how values, form the bedrock of creating this whole alignment in society or wherever else in the organization. I can't actually speak for society at a whole, but I can tell you a little bit about how we have used, putting the values right in the center as a way of creating a strong sense of alignment and strong sense of a sort of strong sense of right from wrong in the organization. So the way we do it is, there is a right from the first day of recruitment. We also follow a similar philosophy around hiring for the right kind of match on values. But then as soon as a person joins, there is from the induction through every single interaction, including every business performance review of a person, there is a weight always brought about towards citing citing specific instances and calling out specific instances of exemplary conduct around the values by the individual, and by that we keep on reinforcing the values in practice through the people, and as a process of recognition, public recognition, we have a monthly rewards or recognition process, which is applicable to most frontline and line managers and people at the front line, essentially to propagate and cascade down the understanding of the purpose and the values all the way through the organization on the ongoing basis. So that way, I think it gets to a point after a certain amount of work being done in a few years' time, where it is your colleagues and your peers who will call you out, even if you are at the front end of the organization, if you are not in alignment with the values of the organization. So that works extremely well and becomes a natural filter for some kind of problem that might be there in certain individuals relating to alignment on values.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. I'll again come back to you to understand from you the philosophy, which is also the philosophy of our Amity group, founded by our founder president, Dr. Ashok Kumar Chauhan, sir. People come first. But prior that, I would like to go to Shri Ashwini Lohani ji. Lohani sir, you being the chairman of world's fourth largest national railway system, taking care of more than 24 million passengers traveling daily. Sir, please share with us your experience of inculcating belongingness through actions. Shri Lohani sir.
Sir, please unmute, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pandey. Am I audible now?
Yeah,
Yes,
I can hear.
yes.
First of all, I'd like to say It's a real honor to hear such eminent fellow panelists. Dr. Atul Chauhan, a very happy birthday to you. Yeah. Students, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about belongingness for organizational excellence. Well, I have headed many organizations. When I got my first posting at the age of 22 years and 7 months, it was in a place called Gutti near Guntakal in Andhra Pradesh. I joined there and I asked how many men are reporting to. So they told me 1,000. The shed had 2,000 staff and there are 2 officers who are sharing 1,000 each. I said, if I have 1,000 men under me, then my job is to get the best out of those men. Rest everything that those persons will do. That is how the journey started. And then I headed Indian Railways with 1.4 million. I'll come to that. Air India with 35,000 employees. Met each and every single one of them. In the railways, shook hands with more than 1 million. I almost met every single railway employee. ITDC was also not that big, about 8,000 employees. State government, but I realized very early in life that it is the men who matter. The most important resource is the human resource. It is not money, it is not strategy, it's not land, it's a human resource. And we can get them to do wonders if we really are at it. If we really believe that our job as leaders is to create an environment where everyone flourishes. If we ourselves believe that the will to do is a much more potent tool than the hows and whys. There was a point made by, I think Dr. Atul Agrawal made this point, that we have to decide to do things and then ultimately find out the ways and means. Start looking at the ways and means right in the beginning. But we may never even start. Values, we're talking about values, ethics, beliefs, definitely yes, they have to be there. But how do we get it? How do I put an organization as big as Indian Railways, 14 lakh men? I have to bring these issues on the table. These issues will have to be brought on the table. We'll have to talk about corruption every day. We'll have to talk about values, ethics, and beliefs every day. Instill in our people the need to be honest. But at the same time, tell them, I told my people always, you have to be honest. But I'm not giving you any credit to be honest. No. That is the way a person has to be. That is a given. Well, it's all about building pride in the organization. I have to build pride. I had to build pride in the 14 lakh men who are manning Indian Railways. How does one do that? How does one do that? I remember an ad which I'm very impressed with that ad. It's an ad of a motorcycle in which the rider, while riding the motorcycle, blends with the motorcycle. He just melts and he and the motorcycle becomes one. But that is how it has to be. If I'm working in an organization, I should blend with that organization. My men have to blend with the organization. The men in the organization have to become one solid piece. And that is what belongingness is all about. Developing pride in the organization, putting in your life and soul in the organization, working extremely, extremely hard, and doing it because it pleases you. It pleases you. When I was brought to the railways in 2017, there were 3 major issues. 3 major things which the government wanted. One was bring down the accidents. Accidents were large number of accidents happened in 2017. Thousands died. Improve the cleanliness levels at stations and take railways on the growth path. Now, how does one do it? Get a consultant, ask him to make a report, follow the report, ultimately do a postmortem to where we fail. I said no. My 14 lakh men have to think, have to know what I want. They should be able to deliver what I want. They should have pride in the Indian Railways. We should have love for the Indian Railways. हर कोई जान देना चाहता है अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए, काम करना चाहता है. अब उसको एनवायरनमेंट दे तो सही. अब दे के देखिए ना, हर आदमी इवन जो चोर भी होता है वो भी रामराज पसंद करता है. बशर्ते आप उसको रामराज दे दो, एक ऐसा राज जहाँ पे एथिक्स वैल्यूज पे फोकस हो, जहाँ परफॉर्मेंस रिवॉर्ड हो, जहाँ पे बायस नहीं हो, जहाँ पे आप लव ह्यूमन रिसोर्स. It brings a tremendous phenomenon. 1,500 WhatsApps a day, 200 to 300 phone calls a day, about meeting 100 people a day, and every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, going out in our own private carriage, all over the Indian Railways, getting down at stations, getting down on the track, meeting the people, shaking hands with them, telling them what I want from them. So that brings in a tremendous synergy in the manpower. They all start loving the organization. What does a person who is working in an organization want? He wants a good boss. हर आदमी एक अच्छा बॉस चाहता है, बढ़िया बॉस होना चाहिए, छोटी बातें करने वाला बॉस नहीं चाहिए, हमको करप्ट बॉस नहीं चाहिए, हमको नॉट परफॉर्मर बॉस नहीं चाहिए. He wants a good boss. He wants to work for a great organization. He wants to give his life and soul for the organization. So he wants to work for a great organization. He wants a good culture. बढ़िया कल्चर हो, फ्रिल्स का कल्चर ना हो, no frills. Culture should be strict. The first order I passed as chairman of the Indian Railways was to ban bouquets. Second order within the first 1 hour was to ban gifts across Indian Railways. Third was to ban protocols across Indian Railways. We did the same thing in India. Just to tell to our people, well, it's performance which matters. You will be treated with a lot of justice. Don't bother about frills. कोई frills की जरूरत नहीं है. Performance तो है. I've always believed in the goodness of men. That is the belief which the top management has to have. I've served for 40 years across organizations, across railways, across states. I have found only outstanding people, except one or two on fingertips, whom I can say they were exceptions. One or two, not more than my fingertips. Dealt with lakhs of people. I always found outstanding people. I gave them outstanding confidence. Anybody who was a direct report, I gave him outstanding confidence. Because I believed he is outstanding, and therefore he behaved as if he is outstanding. If I believed he is useless, he'll behave like a useless. If I say you are good, he'll behave like a good guy. If I tell him you are great, behave like a great guy. If I tell him you are useless, behave like a useless guy. I believe in the power of the human resource.
लोहानी साहब, आपकी हवाई जहाज वाली ये जो स्टोरी है, ये is very interesting, and we would like to really listen to this part, this experience of yours. But if in case you allow me, I would like to submit a handful request that if in case you can allow me to go back to Malhotra Saab before I go to Sahil. Sir, Malhotra sir, you have this philosophy of people come first. Before I come and submit my point to you, I would like to inform you that during pandemic, once people were suffering, our Honorable Chancellor Dr. Atul Chauhan has come up with a policy that if any student who has lost his earning parents and is having financial difficulty, Honorable Sir has sponsored entire fee of that student for the entire program, and that was the best part, showing that people come first. And he has done n number of things. Sir, I am coming back to you, Malhotra Saab. You also have this philosophy, people come first, especially in adverse situations. And you are going to start some digital platform for belongingness. If in case you can share with us upon this, sir.
Sure. So not only in adverse situations, people always come first. That's the philosophy with which we have been working. But of course, during the adverse situations, there is a need for higher compassion and coming together. And actually, it is a little bit harder to follow that philosophy. So yes, so I see. Look, I mean, I think the way we look at it is actually quite simple. It's not a complicated philosophy. It is like this, that in today's day and age, uh, and in fact, it was true always, but it has become more apparent in today's day and age. Uh, you know, the biggest competitive advantage any organization can ever hope to have is in its people. At the end of the day, everything else is par for the course. Everyone has access to capital, everyone has access to some sort of technology, everyone has access to everything else. So at the end of the day, what differentiates companies that compound success from companies that are sometimes lucky is the kind of human resources and people that they have, and their belongingness to the organization, and their whole continuity, etc., and motivation. So what we do is very simple. The philosophy is, if that is the most important asset that you are going to depend on for your continued success, then for every decision that you make in the organization at whatever level, we encourage people that your decisions should be made with the first filter of people being put on it. So, for example, you get into a situation where suddenly all your factories are closed on on 22nd March 2020. You can go back to that day. There comes a government directive and everything is closed, right? You have 2,000 some hundred workers in the plant, and you have a good, like everywhere else, a good two-thirds of those are contractual employment. You have the option legally uh, to give whatever notice and be saving the organization a certain amount of cost by letting people go. But that's a decision you would take if your profit filter was higher than your people filter. But because the filter of people is higher, that decision was not even an option on the table. So it is clearly out of the window that you cannot let anyone go. Period. That's the decision. Now you figure out how you are going to survive, how you are going to deal with that situation. So it's just that orientation of what comes first. That is why we don't call it more so much as people, any other fancy name that the management books say. We call it simply the first filter is people. That's why we call it people come first. And it's then easy to practice at all levels of the organization's decision making, and then there is consistency, and then it becomes part of your DNA, right? So that's what we do in a simple way. And coming back to your question around what platform, etc. See, today for last 2 years, a lot of people are working remote. They are not necessarily meeting each other. Some of the stuff that you used to do, including town halls and Friday breakfasts and whatever else that you were doing with people, all of that was not possible to do for a fairly long period of time. And then in any case, the younger workforce is a lot more digital first and wants to do things on phones and devices rather than necessarily always physically. So what we are building is a community. For the first time, I think we are doing this. It's a community of so it's kind of it's an app that we are rolling out right now, where we are getting the entire community of our employees, and not only employees, even our outer circle, which is our partners, dealers, distributors, their families even, and bringing them together on one single platform for interaction, sharing their voice, opinions. There are lots of stuff that we intend to do. It's just an early stage right now.
Correct, sir. Correct. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Again, before I go to Lohani Saab to understand that experience related to his being chairman at Air India, I would like to go to Sahil. Sahil ji, a sense of belongingness motivates people to come together, work together, and succeed together in the organizational ecosystem in today's world. What is your viewpoint as a leader?
Sure. So, Dr. Pandey and everyone else, thank you so much for having me over. I think after so many stalwarts that have spoken, it is always difficult to come in and share a perspective. But let me make it slightly more interesting and engaging by sharing a story. And I'll then come to answering your question as well, Dr. Pandey. Do I have around 4 or 5 minutes? Is that good enough time?
Please.
Lovely, very nice. So let me share with each one of you a story. And this is a story of a young boy who was born in South Bombay. This individual grew up as the only child of his parents and went to St. Mary's High School, which was a co-ed school only for boys. As this individual grew up, this young kid started getting bullied by a lot of his schoolmates, although he was very good at academics, but somewhere didn't really find the click, the way you call it. Went on to going on to HR college, a very, very different world out there because you're moving from a boys' school to an extremely, cosmopolitan environment with a lot of different people from different walks of life coming in. And in one of the lectures, this young boy who went to HR college saw another person sitting on the other side of the class. And the entire class got over, the class walked out. And the two people, the boy and the girl who was sitting on the other side of the class, just looked at each other and they started having a conversation. The girl went on to say, you know what, my name is so-and-so. And the guy introduced himself and said, my name is so-and-so. And they just got talking. And the girl said, it's been 6 months that I have joined HR college, but I just feel so lost here. And the boy asked her and said, but why do you feel so lost? And she said, my dad is in a transferable job. And every 3-4 years, we just keep moving from one city to another city to another city. And therefore, the moment I actually go and join school, as I was growing up, it's time for me to move to another city and join another school. And I've actually gone through 3 different schools in 3 different cities. And this is my first entrance into college. And I don't know when is my dad going to get his next posting. And maybe I'll be away from here as well. So I find it very difficult to talk to people, to make friends, to interact with people. And then this boy just sat and smiled. And the girl looked at him and said, oh, but why are you smiling? Is your dad also in a transferable job? And he said, no, my dad is not in a transferable job. But you know what? I'm part of this entire crowd, but I still feel lonely. I'm part of this class of 200 people, but I still feel lonely. And I don't really think I can connect with the people in this class. And therefore, your situation is not very different from mine. And of course, they became best of friends and they moved on in life to go to various MBA colleges and then build their career. Ladies and gentlemen, this story is of nobody else but my own very story. And I want to share with you 3 takeaways from this on the topic of belongingness. And I'll link it, Dr. Pandey, to motivation and other aspects that we've spoken about. I think number 1, fundamentally, you can be in a crowd, but you can still feel alone. And that has a very, very pivotal aspect of what we call as belongingness. The second key aspect is all these years that this boy, which I've obviously disclosed now is me, was trying to really grow up. The entire intent was always to fit in. And when you try and fit in, it is very, very different from actually feeling as if you belong. And that could happen for various reasons of why you feel you're trying to fit in. And the third point I really want to share with all the 500 plus people listening in and the hundreds of others on YouTube will be listening to this session is believe in yourself. Because when you believe in yourself, fundamentally what you're practicing is vulnerability. And vulnerability will play out in 3 different ways. You believe in yourself you will actually create psychological safety within yourself before you actually go out and ask for psychological safety in the environment. As a child, I used to get cold feet when I went on stage. I used to find it very difficult to talk in front of an audience. I used to wonder, log kya sochenge? And today, whether it is at events at educational institutions, whether it's at CII, whether it's at ASSOCHAM, it's been a great opportunity to actually go back and share the story, because that's the whole aspect of where you really feel that you belong. Because if you belong with people who you've received so much from, your ability to go out there and give back to the community is always a lot higher. I think Aditya spoke about it very nicely, and I know he's dropped off, but he spoke about the mindset of a relative with customer first. I think Rakesh touched upon transparency, trust, and inspiration. And Ashwini ji, of course, spoke about an environment where we all flourish. I think if you just look at what three of them have said so beautifully so far, I think the crux of all of this is intimacy. And as you build intimacy with individuals and create an environment of intimacy, of course, embedded with trust, you will see a lot of belongingness that would emerge. Now, the real challenge is not about belongingness. The real challenge is when you look, and a lot of students on this call as well, and therefore I'll talk a little bit of jargon as well. You just look at a 2x2, right? A 2x2 matrix. On one axis, you have uniqueness. And on the other axis, you have belongingness. Now, when you and I actually give up our individuality or uniqueness to be part of a larger organization or a larger culture, assimilation becomes very easy because you're being part of the crowd. But the real beauty is to actually maintain your individuality, maintain your uniqueness, and still feel belonged. And when that happens, that I would say, for organizations, for educational institutions, for individuals, is the best space to be. Maintain your individuality, believe in yourself, and yet find the sweet spot, just the sweet spot where you belong. Dr. Pandey, 4 minutes, back to you.
Thank you so very much. I'll again come back to you to understand how sense of belongingness drives organizational performance.
Yes.
But prior that, I would like to go back to one of the most senior person present with us, Shri Ashwini Lohani ji. Lohani sir, you have served in various states of India, holding apex chairs. How did you manage cultural diversity and inclusiveness, leading to fulfillment of organizational goal with the help of your happy and motivated team? Lohani sir. The great leader Lohani sir.
It was not really very difficult, Dr. Pandey. The fact is that you have to believe in that. You have to believe in the very fact that, see, I always believe, I've been chairman 8 times. I always believe that I always differentiated between what is mine and what is not. If I was the chairman of Indian Railways, that was not mine. It was not mine. It was just Railways was given to me in trust for 1.5 years to manage. That's all. It doesn't add to me. I remain what I am. One very big lesson which my father told me when I left my home was, learn to differentiate between what is yours and what is not.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. We'll come back to you and we'll understand your Limca record story and other belongingness messages. But I would like to go to, again, Sahil. Sahil, what is your views on a sense of belongingness drives organizational performance?
I think, Dr. Pandey, just not performance, but even potential culture and behavior.
Correct, correct.
For a very simple reason. Look at it this way, right? When a person knows that they belong in a particular place, they can be themselves. And when they can be themselves, they don't need to wear a mask. And I'm not talking about literally wearing a mask in COVID times. I'm talking about the mask, right? You don't need to wear a mask because you can just be yourself. Take a classic example, and I know there are a lot of painful memories attached to that, but go back to the Taj. So many people at the Taj incident were actually protecting their guests over their own lives. And why do you think that happened? The whole sense of belongingness to say our Atiti Devo Bhava, our guest first, and therefore them, that really put selflessness right in the center of every single action. There was no training manual, there was no SOP, there was no preparedness for an attack of that sort. But yet, the entire culture was embedded in a sense of this is our house, this is our family, we belong here, and we have guests who have come to our place. And we need to protect our guest first, and then we will take care of our house. And I think we've seen it as a practical example in real life, not just on pen and paper or sitting in the boardroom in air-conditioned offices. We have seen it in blood and in sweat, in real life, by human life being in the center, and what bigger than that. And therefore, I think it is great to have lovely things on the wall as values. I think it is beautiful to have town halls to give nice sermons. But ultimately, when the rubber hits the road and when behavior in everyday life reflects belongingness, then we don't even need to talk about it. Because agar kuch hona hota hai, the guy will not say, oh, look at the manual and see how many leaves can you take. The guy will say, your family member is unwell, don't worry about work at all. You just take care of your family member, we will manage everything. And then everything else follows. And the other way around, you will say, oh, but you have only 5 days of leave. Oh, we will try and let you, or there will be leave without pay. Very, very bizarre kind of conversations, but they still happen in today's world.
Correct. Very true. Before we start taking questions from students, I would like to go back to again senior person, Shri Lohani ji. Sir, Lohani sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. There was some disconnection. India is young, and you being the national Limca record holder, holding 4 engineering degrees, and having written many books, what is your message for youth of India?
Imandar, be honest, maintain very high levels of integrity. There are no gray shades. In integrity, there are no gray shades. So far, the baat karte hain, gray hai nahi. It's only black and white. Either you're honest or you're not. Put in your life and soul in whatever you do. Then sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Let me request students, if in case they have something to ask from our respected guests, you can please raise your hand so that I should request Mobeen to allow you to speak. I am seeing many hands have come up. Let me request Nimisha Kapoor. Mobeen, if in case you can help me, Nimisha Kapoor.
Yes.
Dr. Pandey, we also have a question in the Q&A as well. So
Okay, I'll take that question. Yes, I can see. We'll take that question. Nimisha?
Yes, sir. Can I start, sir?
Please, Beta.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. I am Nimisha and I am from BBA semester 6. First of all, I would like to thank my Vice Chancellor, sir, for giving me a chance to ask the question. And happy birthday, Atul, sir. So my question for you is, from your great number of years of experiences during the various things under various capacities, if you may kindly share one of your experiences on how your small action with the thought of belongingness might have led to a life-changing experience for someone or a group of people.
Okay. She's asking Sahil and Ashwini ji that any incident where your action has given happiness to an individual or a group of persons so that they can have feeling of belongingness.
Right. Should I tell? Yeah. There was an incident in March 2017. There was an incident in which a honorable person beat up a Air India staffer with his chappals at Indira Gandhi International Airport. It was national news, flashed all over. And proudly he said, "Ki maine 25 chappal mari." Now, because he was honorable, what honorable means is you can't touch those category. every eye was on me. My staff was looking at me. What will I do? The entire airline community was. And first of all, we did 2 FIRs against that guy. But I was not happy. I was not satisfied. I was disturbed through the night. If one of my staff has been beaten, he was the lowest level staff. Morning, I got up 5 o'clock. I said, this fellow will not fly on my airline. My director of commercial said, you can't do it, sir. It's not your airline. This is a government effort, national airline. You can't do it. I said, I've done it. I've done it. I issued orders banning him from flying. Spoke to all the other airlines also, airline chiefs. Told them, immediately that day he was banned. And then we had a battle for 10, 20 days. I was a government officer, bureaucrat. He was honorable. Finally, a no-fly law was passed. Airlines can ban staff can ban people from flying if they don't behave in a particular manner. But the amount of camaraderie this built in Air India among the staff and among the entire airline staff cutting across airline was unimaginable. My Air Indians felt proud to be Air Indian that day. They said, yes, the management can stand up for us and go to the extent of being sacked. I could have been sacked for that because that was not within my authority. I was violating the law of the land by taking that step. So that was one step which really made a tremendous lot of difference.
Great.
And ultimately in the performance of the
Great, Lohani.
I think while Ashwani has shared a story about pride of the nation, I can share with you a very small story about pride for a family. We actually had a situation where one of our team members passed away at work. And of course, while there are a lot of policies and insurance and all the other things that you would do from a family standpoint to take care of the family, what we actually did was, in one of the instances, is we said this person was so dear and integral to our entire organization at that point in time. And we said we will start a scholarship in the person's name for young students. And then we said that for the family was a sense of belongingness to the organization to say, while of course it was because of natural factors, this, that, and the other, you actually had an instance where the person continues to live with us through his memories as a scholarship that we put in place for many other students to pass on and do stuff. And I think it is small things like these, apart from all the large policies and all the other breaking of the law of the land and all that we do, that actually touches families, because for them, every year they actually come and they actually take it forward, and the most deserving underprivileged student gets a benefit in that space. And I think these small things go a long way to create a sense of belongingness, not just for the employee who is no longer there, but even for the family whose young child moved on from this world. And that family and those parents today, every year, live with those memories.
Correct. In Q&A box, I can see question of Dipali. Dipali, yes, sir.
Sahil Nair made a very, very valid point. Looking after staff personally and family. I'll just tell you something very relevant to that.
Please.
In railways, we always had a rule. If anybody dies in harness, his family is given a compassionate appointment.
Dipali, I can see your question and answer box, and your hand is also raised. Mobeen, if in case you can allow Dipali to ask her question. Mobeen, Dipali Gautam. I'm seeing two students, Dipali Gautam and Akriti. First, I'll take Dipali Gautam.
Good afternoon to honorable dignitaries. I hope I am perfectly audible.
Yes, beta. Yes.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. Sir, so my question is, role of social media technology in enhancing the sense of belongingness in adverse times.
Sahil, if in case you can answer this question.
Sure. So I think, Dipali, that's a very, very good question, because being a millennial myself, I can tell you that social media is, of course, going to be all pervasive, right? And in adverse times, even more so. But I think two things we need to be extremely careful of. One, while we leverage social media, I think we have to realize that we have to find the balance between tech and touch. Just imagine, right? What are we doing on birthdays? What are we doing when someone really is in a difficult situation or going through a big problem? Just sending a WhatsApp message, sending an Insta message, sending a reel out. Trust me, it doesn't have the kind of impact then when you go right there, wish a person, hug the person, express warmth. And therefore, while social media is great for geographies that are far away, wherever there is an opportunity to be in person, social media can never replace that. That's point number one. Point number two, I think in adverse times, the social media does have its boon and its bane, and therefore the ability to understand how do we deal with sensitivities of people, be it caste, creed, religion, gender. Extremely careful to be very neutral in our views and in our stand, because in moments like these, if your intent is to help someone, but you may end up helping someone at the cost of hurting someone else because there are sentiments and emotions involved. And therefore, I think social media in a way is a double-edged sword. Great to be there, great to have an outreach, but use it in a very responsible manner. And most importantly, if you can have the first old school thought of being in person and actually expressing warmth rather than sending emoticons and wonderful images on social media, I would say that. I'm sure Ashwini should agree with me, but I'd love to hear Ashwini's views as well.
Ashwini ji.
I think you have covered it quite well. Sorry. I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Wonderful. I'm seeing that Akriti Singh is also raising a hand. Mubin, if in case you can allow Akriti.
Yes, a very warm and lovely good afternoon to all the dignitaries present here. And thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Sir, I would like to take views on this question. Like turbulent times like this pandemic COVID-19 have again taught us belongingness and inclusion in family, society, as well as organization. So, sir, can you please tell your viewpoint on this?
Pandemic time, yes, definitely unprecedented times. And I still remember the end March 2020.
Yes.
The roads were empty, all the planes were just standing at the airports. All the planes were standing at the airport. Not a soul to be seen. Future. Nobody had any idea what is going to happen. Very difficult times. Yes. That is the time when the families got together. I spent time with the family now because 2 months there was lots of lockdown. All of us spent time with the families. And I really feel that is the time when I really belong to my family, because before 40 years before that.
Sahil, if in case you can share your views, because we are running short of time.
I resonate with everything, so nothing additional from my side.
I want that I should allow the last student, Rishika Kumari, to ask her question so that we can immediately after that go to Dr. Kohli to request him to conclude the session and deliver vote of thanks.
Yes, let's do that.
Mubin, if in case you can allow Rishika to please ask her question. Rishika?
Yes, sir. A very good afternoon, everyone present here. So my question is, what are the actionable small steps we, the students, should take to increase the sense of belongingness?
That is one. Whatever you are doing, do it with passion. Keep no ill will towards anyone. Because दूसरे के बारे में बुरा सोचने से दिल तो आप ही का खराब होता है ना, मन तो आप ही का खराब होता है, उसका कुछ नहीं होता. Keep no ill will towards anyone.
Rishika, I just have 3 things for you. 1, be genuine. 2, be authentic. And 3, give more than you can receive. And when you are always in the position of giving more than you can receive, You will always have the whole intimacy that you will share and give to the universe, and you will see the universe will find its way to give back more to you when you really need it.
Correct. Sahil and Ashwini ji, we have come to the end of this session, and I would like to request respected Vice Chancellor, MIT University Punjab, Dr. Kohli Saab, to sum up this session and deliver a vote of thanks. Honorable Kohli Saab.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pandey. And thanks to each of the panelists, Mr. Aditya Agarwal, Rakesh Malhotra ji, Ashwini Lohani ji, and Sahil, Mr. Sahil Nair. And of course, thanks to Mr. Pandey for keeping this discussion very gripping. The common points that emerged are simple. One, that we must invest in human values. That comes first. And these are the common points from the discussion of each of the four panelists. We must create working environment so that everybody can give his or her the best. And there must be an element of compassion throughout. Of course, the issues of values of transparency, these things are already ingrained in it. And there was linking of relationships between belongingness and relationship, or between skill and values. These are all really important thoughts. And to make the issues more lively and easy to comprehend, the simple, short personal experiences like that of Mr. Sahil Nair, or the example of Taj, these were really befitting on the occasion. These are really interesting. And we must be helping the people during their difficult times and sharing the pains, sharing the feelings. That is what has emerged from this discussion. On behalf of the MIT University and on my own behalf, on behalf of the team behind our Honorable Chancellor, I am referring to Mr. Ramachandran ji, Mr. Gaurav Gupta, and others, Mr. Major Vinod John, they are the real support behind. So I express my sincere thanks to each one of you, each of the panelists. Two of the panelists had to go, I believe, early. And to the participants whosoever has participated in this discussion. Thanks a lot. And again, on behalf of you all, we wish very happy birthday to our Chancellor and to their whole family. And to you all, he is a part of our family. He's a very dynamic, smart, handsome, and real leader. We all are blessed. Thank you so much. Good luck to you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kohli. Thank you. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to get opportunity to once again, after Dr. Kohli, propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. I would like to thank
Professor Pandey.
Yes, Dr. Shukla.
Yeah, Professor Pandey, I would like to thank, that
please, Dr. Shukla,
Mr. Shri Aditya Agrawal ji, the director of the Emami Group of Companies, Ashwini Lohani ji, Mr. Anuj Gupta ji, Mr. Rakesh Malhotra ji, our esteemed industry guests, and our, the Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.K. Kohli ji, for moderating this session, chairing this session, and Dr. Vivekanand Pandey ji, Vice Chancellor of MIT Patna, very well coordinating this sessions, So thank you so very much to all of you. And above all, I would like to thank Dr. Ramachandran and his entire team and putting this panel discussion on a very, very special day for all of us, the birthday of our Honorable Chancellor. And what a great theme, that enhancing belongingness towards social cohesion for the organization growth. And as so well said that belongingness means trust, transparency, values, and it is for all times. It's not only for the difficult times, but for all times. And so thank you so very much, all our esteemed panelists and my my colleagues from the Amity University, Punjab, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Kohli, a renowned academician, researcher, and scientist, and Dr. Vivekanand Pandey, our Co-Vice Chancellor, who are really immensely taking their respective institutions to greater heights by full commitment, and really they display that sense of belongingness. Thank you so very much.
It is all. I mean, we all feel proud that we are Amitians. We have been getting opportunity to contribute a little bit in achieving the vision of our honorable founder president, Dr. Ashok Kumar Chauhan sir, and the dynamic and dashing leader, Dr. Atul Chauhan sir. Once again, taking this opportunity to wish Honorable Chancellor Dr. Atul Chauhan sir many happy returns of the day, happy birthday. And we every time get inspiration, motivation, and support from Mr. U. Ramachandran ji and Gaurav Gupta ji, and the support of Rama sir and Gaurav ji motivates us to do new things in new ways. I'll end this session with one sloka. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so very much. Thank you,
Dr. Pandey. I will just come in for a minute because I was into back-to-back sessions. And this would like to seek the blessings of our founder president always before I say anything in the group. The Honorable Vice President's vision and mission, why we are able to do this conference. And today is a very important day, the Belongingness Day of our young, dynamic leader, Chancellor Sir, President Sir, C5 Sir. So we are so excited today. And I would like to convey my sincere thanks to you, Dr. Vivekanand Pandey. Within no time, when I got a call from our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, we have to do this 2 days conference. I said, our team can do anything and everything, in 24 hours. That is how our chancellor taught us. And thanks to Dr. Ravinder Koleji, yesterday night at 12 o'clock, he landed after a NAC inspection from Hyderabad. But then he said, even if I would be landing at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 6 o'clock, this is the, important day and Belongingness Day of our chancellor. I would be chairing, whether it is from my home or campus or on the road. Kohli Saab, I'm highly thankful to you. And Dr. Vivekanand Pandey, especially, to you and all the speakers, Dr. Pandey, this is your love and affection for the speakers. Similarly, vice versa, the speakers are, they are also part of Amity family. I could see still Sahil Nair, I could see you and many other speakers. Gaurav is there online. Vinod John has been working over the last 24 hours. He sent me a message around 11:45, and Mantana from VC's office has been sending so many mails over the last 10 days. So we always say, Kohli Saab and Dr. Vivekanand Pandey, this is inculcated by our founder, president and chancellor, sir. We work as a team, and this conference could reach to this level to start with under the leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor at AUP Noida and team. And then we took off, and Dr. Vivekanand Pandey, a lot of hard work from you over the last 2 days. And we are so very proud to work under our Honorable Founder President Sir and the Chancellor Sir. And we together will change the world, and we together would achieve the mission and vision of our Founder President Sir and Chancellor Sir. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sahil. Thank you, Sahil. Thank you so much. Sir, with the kind permission of Shri U. Ramachandran,
and I could see Dr. Selvamurthy sir also. I don't know if sir is online. Sir, I could not see you. I thought you were on mute. And all the research and development happening in the universities of our Chancellor Sir with the vision of our founder President Salomurthy sir. We always remember you, such a humble leader and highly motivator, and how to get the research work done by our faculty members, and your experience, your humbleness, your leadership. And we salute you, sir. You are on mute, so I did not see you suddenly.
Thank you, Rama.
Without your
I was listening
blessings,
to all the conversation.
Without the blessings of our founder, President, Chancellor Sir, and yourself, our universities cannot grow. And keep on blessing our universities across India, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Ramachandran, and also compliments to Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Punjab, Mohali, Dr. R.K. Kohli, and also Dr. Vivekanand Pandey. You all brilliant leaders who are building Amity today. We are extremely grateful. I want to express, as one of the senior member of the Amity group, that I want to place on record our gratitude to all of you. You make so much of sacrifice, like Dr. Kohli, he mentioning that whether I'm in air, on road, or on the campus, I will attend. This is the spirit of Amity, and this is belongingness. This is the exemplification of belongingness, and this is what we emulate. I emulate from all of you. Thank you so much, Rama.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful, fantastic. Thank you.
Honorable